YouTube, welcome to the top 8 grand finale and the top deck list, all that good stuff. By watching as long as you can, that greatly supports me. Thank you very much. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Kashtira Ogre searching for the preparations. We have Kashtira Birth. Additionally, summoning, not additional, but we can normal summon without tributing our Fenrir, searching for our Rise Heart. Rise Heart special summon, banish from the deck, a unicorn that we could reborn with the Birth. Birthing that unicorn back here. We do not care about Nibiru one bit as we grab that Theosis. Shokan into our triple material, a Rise Heart, just like that. Theosising onto the Fenrir from the deck, we summon a unicorn. We have the Rise Heart equipping the Theosis to trigger it during the opponent's turn after detaching it. We are small worlding, grabbing an Ash, and just like this, we have a pretty damn good field. A Rise Heart trigger again, equip another card. So what do we have here is if the opponent activates a monster effect, we could look at the extra deck, banish a card face down. We could banish a face-up card in the field face down. And we could, whenever we want, banish any card on the field face down. And we have Ash Blossom negate something like a Branded Fusion. And with at least 3 cards in the graveyard after a spell effect, we could use the Birth to banish 3 cards in the graveyard face down. Let's go. So kind of like 4 disruptions. Imperm onto the Arise. The Preparations is not going to be triggered here. We're going to be banishing the impermanence before we are negated, which means the cards we detach will be banished, which thus triggers the Theosis. Theosis grabbing back the Rise Heart. Otherwise, if you let the impermanence go through, it would have not been banished. And if it's not banished, if it's in the grave instead, the preparations cannot reborn it. We are using Ash Blossom on a triple tactics thrust and not saving it for Branded Fusion. I guess to be fair, we don't know that we're playing against Branded, maybe, but it's Abo Mod, we should know. Grabbing a Druid Swarm with our Lubellian Unicorn, looking at that extra deck, banishing the Dragostapelia face down. Prep banishes in the hand? It does not, because it has to be face up already resolved when the impermanence activates to negate something. So chaining prep to imperm does not work. We have Rinbrum being sent to the graveyard through the effect of the Branded and High Spirits, which could reborn an Albaz to fuse with the opposing field. We are going to attempt to banish the Mercurier from the graveyard. Come forth and summon as the Birth is trying to banish 3 cards in the opponent's graveyard right now as we do get rid of that Rinbrum. That kind of was extra disruption there. We have the Mercurier being triggered after being banished to grab an Albaz monster, which will be the Cartesia, which is a special summon if we can get the Albaz on the field. Fenrir banishing the Druid Storm as it would send a special summon monster to the grave if it were to be sent to the grave, as you now have Albaz on summon, discard, and fuse with the Arise Heart, making a Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade, non-target monster banished, getting rid of that Unicorn, special summoning our Cartesia alongside the Mirror Jade to then fuse with it to make a Gangrenol. Gangrenol is here, activating to send from the extra next to the grave a Garura to draw a random card, big enough to wipe out that Fenrir. Now at Birth, you could birth your banished or engrave monster back on the field. Preparation can reborn your banished monster back onto the field. And they do have banishment ready to reborn the Mirror Jade to make it the non-target monster banished ready. We have Preparation, prepping our Unicorn up early. So what are our disruptions here exactly? Reborn the Mirror Jade for the non-target monster banish, and that's pretty much going to be it. Unless we play another Rinbrum to get Rinbrum in the grave to reborn the Albaz, then fuse the opposing field, which I don't think we have room to do. Let's find out. Preparation. Summon. And now we do get to look at your hand, and we do get to banish. Come forth, Mirror Jade with the non-target monster banish. And we are further fusing with the banishment to make a Titanclad. Titanclad is unaffected from the activate effects of extra deck monsters for the rest of the turn. Goodbye to Cartesia since you activated a trap. Unicorn searching for our Theosis. Rise Hearting ourselves onto the field here, triggering the Gangrenol to banish itself to then summon a monster, which will be negated by the Ash because you could summon from the deck. Negate. Okay. Unicorn get looking, banishing the final copy of that Mirror Jade as the Rise Heart banishes from our deck a Theosis to trigger to grab back a Unicorn, which could be normal summon due to the birth. As we Theosis onto the Rise Heart to summon from the deck a different monster, we have the Mirror Jade banishing the Rise Heart, stopping that Theosis summon. Birth get birthing our Fenrir back onto the field here, activating to search for our Ogre. Do we normal summon the Ogre or the Unicorn? It's going to be the Ogre. On the attack, Fenrir banishing the Titanclad face down, thus causing a replay because there's not the same amount of monsters on the attack. And now we have a Rise Heart main phase 2. Main phase 2, a Rise Heart, detach 3, banishing all 3 to banish the Mirror Jade off of the field, re-equipping the Theosis to be detached again during the next turn to then trigger to grab back a banished card back to our hand. There is a Branded Fusion now in our hand due to the Albion during the end phase. Because you activated the effect of a spell, we get to then banish 3 cards from your graveyard face down. The Arise Heart is 1 material away from being able to banish any card in the field face down. We're going to prep our Fenrir onto the field. So what happens here is you will be Chain Link 1 with your monster you summon. The Birth will be Chain Link 2 to banish 3 cards from your grave face down. This will be interesting. Lubellion, Chain Link 1. The Arise Heart will be Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, then Chain Link 3. This is a mandatory effect, thus it has to be on the lower Chain Link, then 2, then 3, and now there's a potential issue here. Well, actually, the Arise Heart forcing the cards to be banished actually helps. So the Albaz can now not be banished face down through the Birth because it was banished off of the Branded Fusion due to the Arise Heart. That's good. Banishing 3 with the Birth, grabbing a Cartesia from the deck, which is not summonable unless we have an Albaz in the grave or on the field. It is normal summonable though. You have Albion Sanctifier at 3,000 attack. Cannot be targeted by the Arise Heart targeted banish of a card in the field face down. You have Fenrir targeting the Lubellion to banish it face down. Continually equipping. We are ready. Keep on equipping. 5 material now. Big enough to take out that Fenrir, banishing it, which we could just Birth or Preparation it very easily back onto the field. We do have Imperm for that Arise Heart, but we're going to banish it during the end phase, thus activating again, and it will be activatable to banish another card during the next turn, but again, it will not be able to banish the Albion Sanctifier. Grab back the Rise Heart with the effect of the Theosis being banished through the detachment of the Rise Hearts. A Dead Shifter, but that is okay. We're going to target banish the set card, activate to equip again, trigger the Theosis to grab back the Ogre, which could be normal summon through the Birth. Get Birth Fenrir and Preparation the Unicorn. Let's get to it. Now, we can't target the Albion, so I think we have to crash something in. No target. So what do we do against something untargetable? Make something big. Special summon the Rise Heart, just suicide in our Arise Heart itself. We're going to have an Arise Heart of our own on our own field, but it could be targeted by our Fenrir after we then attack into it, banish it, opening up the field for lethal damage. Thus, Abomod surrenders. All right, interesting duel. Interesting interactions here. The Birth without the Arise Heart does counter Branded Fusion in many ways. Wham, send from the deck nothing as the Gamma negate and destroys, which the Ash could have negated the negate. All right, we hold on to that Ash. We do not care. Well, you know, why not Ash it if it negates? Well, the Gamma could then activate again within the same turn to negate something else. So we'd prefer for it to negate that Quem, that's fine. The Nadir Servant does have the ability to add a card from the graveyard to our hand or deck, and because it could also be the graveyard, the Ghost Spell was able to negate. We have Pathfinder, which is full combo, but Ash? Well, we Ash the field spell instead, right? Huh? We're just holding. We're holding. We're saving for Theosis? Maybe we're saving for Theosis. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah? Theosis is a hard once per turn. They activate, you negate, and that's fine. Sure. Unicorn searching for the Birth, which we have nothing to birth. Theosis, Ash, negates. It works. Abomod, good job. Good discipline with that Ash, just holding on to it. Unicorn trigger, banishing Albion. Is that our last copy? No, we have more than one. Got 2 Mirror Jade, 2 Albion, 1 Lubellion. Maybe banishing the Lubellion would have been a better idea there. We have Cartesia activating the Fusion Summon. Unicorn can now banish the second copy of Albion. Is that what we're doing? Unicorn, look at that extra deck. What do we want? Should we have started to banish the Mirror Jades face down? Double Albion, gone from the game completely. Garura being sent to the grave, triggering to draw a card. Draw Lockbird. You will no longer be able to add cards from the deck to the hand. Thus, the kit cannot add the Branded Fusion. Let's keep on going. Unicorn in D, activating a search for another Theosis, which is activatable. The Mercurier is not activatable to negate a monster because we do not have an Albaz Fusion on the field. Then we're grabbing the Ogre, which we can normal summon without tributing. Ogre, grab a Preparation. And now we are going to be dealing with a triple material Arise Heart. We're going to exactly know what the top card of their deck is. Getting rid of the Quem, they're going to draw into a Magna Hut. And just like that, anything sent to the grave is now banished. Cartesia being triggered during the end phase because a fusion monster was sent to the grave. Magna Hut, as we said, off the top of the deck here. Kit on summon, going to be searching for probably a Branded Fusion. The Birth will be triggered off of the Branded Fusion, but because there's an Arise Heart, the Albaz will be banished, thus not banishable face down through the Birth. We're going to be chaining the Arise Heart to banish Branded Fusion face down. We know they have Mercurier, right? Mercurier was added to the hand. So before the Mercurier becomes activatable, we want to be able to banish right then and there. I'm missing it. Where the heck was Mercurier added? Birth getting triggered, banishing cards that were already in the graveyard face down. Magna Hut making sure to banish the Gangrenol before it gets banished face down. Now the Rinbrum can negate a Rise Heart, then spin it back into the extra deck. And it's a mandatory activation. So whenever we want, if a card gets banished, it will activate, and then we could get Rinbrummin. Now Magna Hut is chain-link blocking it right now. Fenrir is banishing the Rinbrum here before it activates to negate the Arise Hearts. Uh-oh. Was that Magna Hut a mistake? Magna Hut triggered Fenrir and also chain-link blocked the Arise Heart. Also made the Fenrir chain-link blockable on the Arise Heart. What the heck was that? Fenrir searching for the regular Rise Heart, Preparation, special summon a banished monster Unicorn, birthing onto the field, and just, wow. Kashtira. Not only built to beat and play against Snake Eyes, also got nerfed by the ban list. They had triple Unicorn, they now have 2, but they also now have 2 Birth. So Kashtira, which supposedly got worse, is still doing incredibly well. Eon Flute, congratulations on your 2-0. Foolish Barrel Goods, limited to 1 due to Tyr, and Tyr is still using it, sending from the deck a Sulliek, which is also limited to 1, grabbing a Rhino Heart off of it being sent. You're not using Ash yet, but Ash being used for the Rhino Heart, sending a Tyr from the deck to the grave to trigger a fusion. Negates. Now Sharon needs to discard a monster in order to summon and mill 3. Are you willing to discard a Max C? Foolish Burial, sending the Hovness, which we would have sent with the Rhino Heart. Now we are maxing the C. The Kit Cal generally searches for Sulliek, then ends, but Sulliek is limited to 1. So what do we do now? With limited to 1 Sulliek under Max C, we don't have a good anti-Max C play. Crime's pretty damn good, though. Crime will negate anything. It will also trigger the Sharon Fusion into some big plays, maybe into a Rukalos. Get ready. X Tier 0 versus the new supposed Tier 0 with Bonfire. Discard to summon the Diablo Star. All under Max C, though. You Maxied me, I Maxi you. It's only fair. We have the Poplar Chainlink block on the Diablo Star from being negated by the Crime and also being shuffled back in the deck. Ash being equipped into the back row. We have Subversion to push the Kit Kaos into the back row, forcing the Crime activation. Thus, it would not be activatable if the Kit Cow were to be pushed into the back row. Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta Site update when? Soon. It's being stress tested by the devs. So it's beyond my comprehension on how that works. And I'm just patiently waiting for when they're done stressing the site out and it is good enough to release. Sharon returned back, Kit Cal and Sharon back into the deck in extra to make our Root Kalos with the ability to negate and effect a special summon. So you have Original Sinful, negate, Ash to summon for the deck, negate. Battle phase we go. We are not going to be going for some wham bam thinking man lethal damage. Triva Karma we really want in the grave. Now Root Kalos is going to be a free negate here. We don't have to send to the grave ourselves because we have to destroy the card. Only if you destroy, then you send a tier card from your hand or field to the grave. So it's good. It's still considered fusion summon. It can still send itself, then reborn. We have Meta Noise to flip a card face down and also trigger a fusion summon. Do we have anything good here? Not so good. So the Meta Noise will pretty much just be flipping down. Send the Ash to summon Diablo Star, which is not an activated effect, a special summon, thus the Rukal cannot negate. Rukal could be waiting with that Original Sinful. Ash on summon, add the Poplar. Do we negate the Poplar? Yes. Negate. We could then Meta Noise, flip the Ash face down. Now that Root Kalos activated its negate, it could be understandable to use the Meta Noise to fuse with Root Kalos into maybe a Dragostapelia, maybe? You can go Kit Cal into Dragostapelia, possibly. Let's find out. Flip the Ash face down before it activates, trigger the Hobness sent from the deck to get fusion with the Root Cal into Kit Cal, which could then send Sharon, which could then make a Dragostapelia. No, we're not doing that. Nope, nope. We'll just wait next turn if there, hopefully there is a next turn, right? We have Oak, Reborn the Poplar, Poplar add the Divine Temple. Was Dragostapelia the play? Huh? What do y'all think? So I'm thinking that that was the play. Drago, Fusion plus a Dark Monster. We have Masquerina here, trigger the Flameburst, Flameburst, Reborn from the graveyard, Oak and Poplar, Shokan into Promethean Princess, Reborn the Flameburst from the grave. Flameburst could push the Kit Kalos into the back row. I don't think that there's going to be another turn, huh? Is there? 7,700 damage was on the field there. Amblo Whale into Zelantis. Zelantis, banish the field, return it back onto the field. Flame Burge, boosted up. Ash is going to be how big here? Do we have game? 55, not enough. 7,400 damage. Kit Cal push into the back row. Do we have a way to get that into the grave efficiently? We have Link Karibo main phase 2 to reduce an attack to 0 attack. We also have to deal with the Nibiru. Sharon, discard Destrudo to then mill 3. If we didn't have lethal, wasn't it a mistake to push Kit Cal into the back row instead of destroying it by battle and setting up a Masquerina into the back row? I think so. I think we improperly calculated game. Unless you want to argue that keeping the Kit Cal in the back row is better so that they cannot fuse into a Root Kalos, that could be something that we should consider. Using with the grave, come forth, Kaleido Heart on summon, spin a card on the field, back into the deck. Goodbye to the Zelantis. Rhino Heart send a Kashtira Tearlament, mill 2. Randomly milling into a Hobness, Hobness return the Destrudo and itself to come forth and make a Moo Dragon. Moo Dragon will make all water monsters untargetable, but even better, it is a level 4 for a rank 4 Xyz Dugaris. Dugaris could reborn from the grave, or it could draw 2, or it could just die to Promethean Princess. Promethean wiping out that Dugaris, no play for you. Trigger the Flameburst, reborn the Ash, reborn the Oak, search our deck, reborn from the grave or banish. Let's start resolving this. He could have kept it up to reborn Princess for game. Kit Cal would mill 5 though, if the Promethean popped it, right? And then it probably would have triggered a fusion. There was one more fusion play. If they randomly milled the Sharon, or maybe they would even mill a Fairy Tale Snow, that could have been an issue. Swinging into that Link Karibo, triggering the Amblo Whale, allowing you to destroy it on purpose so we can now non-target pop a card in the field, going for the bluff Triva Karma that wanted to be in the grave. Triva Karma will now banish from the graveyard, searching our deck for a Tearlament Grief. With the Grief, we're gonna summon, then send Kaleido. Kaleido activate, Reborn from the grave, then send from the deck a tier. Let's get to it. Sending a Heartbeat, Heartbeat trigger, recycle the Sulliek. Wow, that was some good debate. We thought that you tricked them into tricking you, and then you got tricked into triggering the Triva Karma. Oh my gosh. Tricking them into Amble Whale, and then tricking them into popping Triva Karma. We are discarding Nibiru to pop that Sulliek, forcing the negate. By sending the Kaleido Heart, we reborn it, then spin a card in the field back into the deck and trigger a Fusion Summon. The Fusion Summon could go into a Root Kalos very easily. So after the spin, ooh boy, Maxi is draw how many cards here? It's gonna draw at least 2 to 3. 2 to 3. So we'll summon, send, summon, Kick Cow, maybe send, Kick Cow, Root Cow. Wait, Kick Cow's stuck in the back row. What? The Kick Cow is stuck. So that is draw 1. Sharon's gonna be draw 2. We have a Mood Dragon to still go into Dragostapelia, actually, so that should be fine. Kaleido spinning that field spell back on a higher chain link because we are the non-turn player with an optional trigger versus a turn player optional trigger. Thus, you are stopped. As we said, Dragostapelia is here. So it's gonna be draw 2 instead of 3. Subversion, pushing the Dragostapelia into the back row, activating before being pushed, which doesn't do anything. We are going to be linking this up into Unicorn on summon, discard, spin the Kaleido Heart back into the deck. You go, chaining Hovness to summon a mill 3. On that mill 3, we milled nothing of value. Rip. And we did eventually get to draw 3 for the Maxi due to the Hovness being special summoned. Diablo Star searching our deck to set up in the back row. Flame Burst summoning 2 fire monsters from the grave. Water versus fire. This is a great duel. Poplar activate to search. Ash activate. I think the field spell's back in the deck so we could search it again, right? Yes, indeed. It is coming back to me. Divine Temple, boost up the field. Boost up the level 1s. To battle we go with over 11,000 damage on the field. Lethal for Snake Eyes, taking this into game 2. Snake Eyes needs 3 Maxi to beat tier. Well, let's find out for game 2. Let's find out. We got Kashtira Field Spell, grabbing our Fenrir. Come forth and special summon. We got to worry about that. Nibiru. It's interesting what maybe we should have done. If they were to Time Thief Redoer, activate Time Thief Redoer, you then chain Nibiru to the Time Thief Redoer because you're trying to send the Sharon to the grave through card effect. If you Nibiru the Redoer while Sharon's still attached to it, in response to it activating to detach by effect, it then is not sent to the grave by card effect. It does not activate to Fusion Summon as it's doing right now. Was it safe enough to wait for the Redoer to do that? Is that what they were going to do? Rukalos. Triva Karma, banish search our deck for a Vsauce card, which will be our Tearlament Field spell. Tearlament Field, search to me, our Hovness. In response to a monster activating on the field, will summon the mill 3. And with the Rukal negating a special summon, we also have Meta Noise, flip a card face down. We have Crime, negate anything. And we're going to very likely go into another fusion place for a 4th disruption. We have about 4 disruptions. Anything crazy in the graveyard like Fairy Tale Snow? No. Let's go. Bonfire Gate searching. Now, Rukal is similar to the High King Caesar, but is better but also worse. It can negate an effect of a spell or trap that would special summon where High King Caesar can't, but it can only negate once, and High King Caesar can negate twice. Using negate number 1 on Poplar, we have 3 more disruptions. Rukal send Hovness. Hovness will then trigger to fuse. What are we fusing into? Now the ceiling for tier is only fusing twice. In TCG, OCG, they could fuse up to 3 times, but with no kick cow. Winda is a floodgate. Winda states your opponent can only special summon once. Well, same for you also. Field spell is also an extra field disruption to pop the Nibiru, which would have taken out the Winda. And wow, just like that. Bonfire it up, but there's no hand trap whatsoever, so let's speed up this turn 1. Put the Masquerena into the back row through the Flame Burge as we then reborn the Formula Synchron through the Elf, making the Flame Burge and the Formula Synchron untargetable as we can make a Baron de Flor, a Giant Apollo USA with Quadra Negates. We also have the Princess in the Grave. We have an Ash. We have an Impermanence. 8 disruptions. 8. Can we play through it? Good luck. 8, 8, 8. Got Scream. On the Summon of a Tear, we can mill 3 to then trigger some fusions. We're going to be Formula Synchroing, going right into that Baron de Flor. Omni Negate is ready, mate. I was thinking, this just came up. This is big. If you care about being good at the game, I found some things that are unfortunate in Master Duel. I don't think I could show you through here, but actually I can. This setting is actually making you a worse player. I hate that that's the case, but it is. With this setting, if you have it on and your opponent has it off, if you have Nibiru with your toggle off and they summon a monster from the extra deck, I know this sounds stupid, I tested it multiple times. They have it off, you have it on, you have Nibiru, you have the toggle off. If they summon a monster from the extra deck, because you're watching the animation and only if you have something activatable like a Nibiru, I tested it both ways multiple times, it tells them you have Nibiru. Your field lights up. If you don't have Nibiru, if you have nothing activatable and you're watching the cutscene after they summon and they have it off and you have it on, your field does not light up. It does not fake light up. It only lights up if you have something activatable. If you're with off, if you have Impermanence, if you have Nibiru, if you have anything, it will reveal. Now, does that mean you have to turn off the summon cut-ins? You don't, but there is a situation where this is rare, okay? So that's common, and that sucks, and I think Konami should fix that. But, it's legal cheating that you could abuse now. And the summon cut-ins, you could only turn it to one time only. So if the opposing player, let's say, summons a unicorn, you're both gonna get the animation, it won't reveal your Nibiru. But if you have it on and they re-summon the unicorn again within that same duel, and you have it on instead of one time only, you're gonna watch the unicorn animation a second time. They won't. They will again see that you have something activatable if you're toggled off, if you're trying to hide something. So, even then, it is a rare situation where you're maybe even trying to hide a Nibiru. But just so you know, that is the current state of the game. Okay, there you go. It's a bit complex. If you don't understand what I said, don't worry about it. It makes you maybe 0.5% of a better player than you would be if you do understand what I'm saying. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Okay, with that said, get ready for begin. We are reborning from the grave. Oak and Ash activate, get searching. So let me count back up our disruptions we have. We have the Ash, Imperm, Baron de Flor, Promethean, Apollo, 8 disruptions. So what we do, Masquerena is being summoned through the field spell effect. Get ready. And we just had Grief send Rhinoheart. Rhinoheart is being triggered to reborn from the grave, saving the Scream to chainlink block the Rhinoheart. By chainlink blocking the Rhinoheart, it will not be negatable through a Baron de Flor nor an Apollo USA, but the Impermanence can negate it. The Ash can't, but the Ash can negate the Scream instead. And because we have we chainlink block the Scream from even being negated by the Ash Blossom also. Super protected. Imperm, negate. So now we just have 7 disruption. 7. Come to me, Meta Noise, mill the top 3, Hovness get triggering. Hovness activate, Baron de Flor, negate. We have Link Haribo summoning itself from the graveyard, and we are now going to get Masquerening. we're gonna continue. We're gonna keep having the protection of being untargetable. By stacking the elf on top of the Masquerena, it will summon, then link, making the Quadra Link, Quadra Negate Apollo USA mate. So I believe we're at 6 disruption, right? Or 5? 6, yeah, 6 disruption. Triple tactics talent, taking away 4 of those disruptions. We now just have 2. We have Ashe, and we have Promethean Princess, but we have Apollo that can negate both of them. So we have nothing. We have no disruption from a triple tactics talent. Damn. What a way to eat up through 8 disruptions. All 8. But now they can use Ashe at least. The Promethean, they have no fire to pop. We did have to get rid of the Apollo before giving it back. We have Ashe on summon, trigger the Scream to randomly mill a fusion trigger. If not, the Meta Noise could flip a monster face down, which will not be random. We now have Mudora, the Explorer, which could spin back the Promethean Princess back into the extra deck, and it could stop the special summoning of a Flame Burge. Subversion, push back the tier limit Kashtira. Meta Noise requires for us to have a tier limit monster on the field to activate, which we do have through Rhinoheart. We're still good. We're ready to flip down whenever. Mudora activating in response to the Jet Synchron. We're gonna spin back the Linkuriboh also. Linkuriboh is gonna jump off. We did not want to put Promethean back in the extra deck to be resummonable, which is, I believe, what we chose to carefully consider and not do. Yep, okay, leave it in the graveyard. We are going to be equipping into the back row our Sprite Elf through the effect of the Poplar. The Flame Burst during the opponent's turn could resummon it. We also have a Keldo. Keldo in response to the Poplar activate. Wait, no, it is the Flame Burst Dragon activating. We're going to be spinning back the level 1s back in the deck so that nothing is reborn. And now before the, oh boy, Ashe negates Meta Noise. How does it negate a Book of Moon? Because the effect is to also send a monster from the deck to the grave. So if you're sending from the deck to the grave and flipping down, you do nothing. It is fully negated. Negate. And I think we're now screwed. We have Fairy Tale Snow. Snow is going to be forced to activate, banishing 7 cards in the grave in response to the Flame Burst, attempting to push it into the back row. Come forth and summon to then activate to flip the Flame Burst face down. That triggers the Divine Temple to reborn the elf. That also triggers the Promethean Princess to pop the Flame Burst to summon from the grave. Also taking out the Fairy Tale Snow in the process. Should we have taken out the Rhinoheart? Taking out Rhinoheart while there's nothing in the hand, so it would not be rebornable. We could simply just attack over it. There's not enough cards to banish for the Fairy Tale Snow. It could banish from the hand, field, or grave, but we do not have enough. We simply do not. Attack, attack, attack. Elf, because it's balanced, is not required to summon a monster to where it's pointing to, which I feel like even that could have been something to make it a little bit more balanced. Nightmare Unicorn is here on summon. Discard to spin back the Scream. What we have left in the graveyard is a Snow that is not activatable. No. Just like that, Tear falls to Snake Eyes. Snake Eyes barely beating them, though. Tear is putting up a really good fight. Lethal damage. Damn. Maxi trash confirmed. Maxi's not even good past turn 4, so why bother? We have Wakashi activate, set up the Benki special summon. We do have Valor and Maxi. We hold on to the Maxi because we do not want to get Gamma'd. Correct. But Ghost Bell can negate Gamma, but we are the one with Ghost Bell, so we don't have to worry about that. When are we committing with that Maxi? Probably to the activation of the Scarecrow, discard to Reborn. Valor or Maxi? We are going to Maxi it up in response to that Crow play. Now the Piercer, if we didn't already have the Peacemaker, we want to be equipping that onto the Scarecrow, but because we got Maxi'd, we simply want to make Baguska and pass. Baguska good against anything that's not a Link, forcing it into defense, and we can attack while in defense because we are super heavy. Very nice. We have Soul Horns detaching. Are we going to put ourselves into attack position so we're not negating ourselves? First, we're going to be searching with the Benki, grab a Soul Piercer. Piercer equip onto the Soul Horn, send to the graveyard, come forth and Shokan into our second copy of the Scarecrow. Piercer activate, grabbing the booster. Booster can equip, then special summon. We're going to discard the extra Benki, reborn from the Grave Motorbike to get back-to-back Max Seed twice in a row. Okay. End our turn. Okay, good thing I didn't change the battle position of my Bagooska. Piercer into D, making a Scarecrow of our own, unaffected from the Bagooska. We do have a Veiler and Ghost Spell to stop that Scarecrow from reborning. Searching for our Wakashi. Wakashi gets special summoning. Equipping the Benki into the back row. Bagooska forced that fool into D. Now, no, we didn't Bell or Veil. We're holding on to it, sure. We're going to Peacemaker, equip onto the Scarecrow. Activate the summon from the deck, Piercer, as we then Shokan into Genius. Genius may be where we want to Veil. We cannot Bell it now. Veil, oh boy, it's got the other effect. So it's got two effects here. The first effect is target a face-up card on each player's field and negate them until the end of this turn. Negate the Bagooska. It's an anti-floodgate card, in addition to searching for Regulus. All right, all right. I am standing, yes. I didn't wet my pants. We are making Beyond the Pendulum, which will activate to search our deck for a Pendulum Scale. Now, we have to Pendulum Summon, otherwise we are negated and cannot activate monsters. Get Pendulum Shokan in. Summon as many as we want from the hand. From the extra deck, it's got to be to where our scales are pointing to. We are going to pop 2 cards through the effect of Beyond the Pendulum because monsters with 2 different levels were summoned. We now have Sprite Elf, which could reborn a level 2 from the grave. We have Excel Synchro Stardust activating to also reborn from the grave. Multiple ways to reborn. Dark is just out of here. Wow. The turn 2 player won, but it was back-to-back Maxi. Yeah, Maxi is in equilibrium, yes? Activate what? Ooh, disrespecting the Gamma. Is it really disrespecting Gamma? The Bell can negate Gamma. So if you were to Gamma, we would Bell your Gamma, so it's safer to just Maxi now. If you have Bell or if you have Ash, it's okay to shotgun your Maxi. Very good, Vodka on that play. Come forth and summon. That is, we can normal summon, make Bagooska still. Normal, Bagooska, draw 2. Get negated. What are we drawing into here? Oh, of course, we have Ash to stop the Maxi, thus it's no longer a fair duel. So we can make the Clifford Genius. We can negate Bagooska. Negate. Just gotta make the Genius. Genius, negate Bagooska. And what else can we do? Beyond the Pendulum could also pop Bagooska. So you have multiple ways to deal with Bagooska. Banky gets searching, but can you also deal with Nibiru? Bagooska and Nibiru? We're on summon number 3. Soul Piercer activate, Wakashi equip into the back row. Get ready for Pendulum Shokanin. I'll read the pasta in a bit. Hold on, sorry. Goodbye to Bagooska forcing monsters into defense. It does not negate continuous effects. It only negates the activation of monsters in defense. During either player's turn, you get to target a back row, destroy it, then inflict 500. That is what you were able to do after taking out the Bagooska. We then have Nibiru tributing up the field, wipe it all up, then ending our turn. Ending our turn with just a Bell? Bell? Only Bell, but we have nothing. A deck filled to the brim with 1-card starters probably took out their 3rd wagon for the Dragon Phantasme as the wagon just got semi-limited. Oh my gosh, that was a wagon. Peacemaker onto the Piercer, activate the summon from the deck. We have Maxi in response to it, back-to-back Maxis. Maxi, save us. Now have Ash. Piercer gets searching. We're not ashing that. We have Wakashi locking us into Super Heavy Samurai only. We're going to negate. No summon from the deck for you. as we then equip Soul Horns onto our newly summoned Tilting Entrainment. We're not stopping on Tilting Entrainment. Tilting Entrainment is going to special summon a level 4 lower pendulum to then further Shokan into the Masuwaru. Masuwaru equipped with the Soul Horns, 8,000 damage through just the Masuwaru. The token's big enough to take out Nibiru, as we then a double attack for game. Back-to-back going second with Super Heavy Samurai and still winning. Yeah, Max C is pretty good though. Max C. If you're gonna go second, make sure you have Max C. Sigma special summon. If there's no extra deck monster in the extra zone for ourselves, we're gonna have to deal with the Gamma. With the open field, we could activate to negate any monster effect. When do we Gamma? Do we Gamma in response to the Dark Infant searching for a field spell that could have another copy in the hand, but this could completely shut down their turn? We're going for that high risk, high reward. Wipe out the Dark Infant, no field spell search for you. Triple Tactics Talent Draw 2. Promote a do play this deck. Okay, you give me the secret sauce in the DMs on how to play that, and we'll do it. Alan Bird on summon, activate to search our deck for our addition, not a circular, as we, okay, yeah, we already did the circular stuff, yes. We now have Splash Mage reborn from the graveyard, our circular. Link it off into our link decoder, which will reborn off of the summon of a transcode talker. Come forth, trigger, reborn, transcode, also summon Splash Mage to where the transcode's pointing to. Shokaning this up into Heat Soul, draw a card every single turn. Activate, grab it now, Veiler, and the turn back to you now. The Heat Soul's untargetable, so is the Transcode Talker. 3,300, untargetable, draw a card every turn. We got the Finger, we got Veiler, and maybe we have a Maxi if we draw into it. Bell. Okay, Bell pretty good here, possibly. When can we Bell against Dinos? We could Finger the Miscellaneous Source, which you could chain Misk to the Finger of the other Misk as long as you're no longer, if you're not already under the effect of Misk, you can Misk again, and you will be unaffected for the rest of this turn. It does work, but we ain't doing it. So we are going to be affected from the Veiler. Fossil digging for our Archosaur. Archosaur on summon, going to get Veilered, which the other Misk could have protected it from being Veilered. Negate. Okay, he needs the cards in hand. I don't think so. I feel like the correct play was just a Misk, right? Who was against what I said? Misk to the Finger. Misk, Finger, chain, Misk again. We have Heat Soul searching for, I should say, drawn an impermanence off the top of the deck, now making an Access Code Talker. Access the codes, but boost also is untargetable. 5,800 attack, wipe it out, attack for game. As long as we did not activate Circular, we can attack with more than one monster. Taking this into game 2. All right. Let's get to it. We both have nothing. We have a baby, but no way to pop that baby. Shite. Got Super Poly, Maxi, Ash, and Gamma. All right. So on the activation of a monster, we're going to be ready with the Gamma to negate. Now the Triple Tactics talent will be activatable. We did use up our normal summon for that Achichi play. Now what? Triple Tactics going for the look at the hand. We're doing the good old lookaroo. Return that Ash Blossom back into the deck so I could safely use Small World or Sign It Mining. Huh? No. We returned the baby back in the deck, leaving them bricked because we're under Max C, so we really should not be making any big plays otherwise. They just drew into a Petite with no way to pop it. All these babies, but no way to pop the baby. Now, let's start cooking. That Super Poly could fuse into what? We have Small World being negated, which we knew there was an Ash in the hand, so we are going to lead with the Small World, follow up with the Sign Up Mining. Looking at the extra deck, we have 2 monsters with the same type and attribute, but different names. We have 2 monsters with the same attribute, but different types. That's what we could get Super Polying into. Sigma Reborn, Shokan into Dark Infant. Dark Infant grabbing our Ignister Island. Let's speed this up until we want to get Super Polying. Cyber's Wicked, summon to where it's pointing to, banish from the grave, grab a Boo-Aroo from the deck. Boo-Aroo could send a monster from the deck to the grave that you could reborn with the Splash Mage, then synchro with the Boo-Aroo to then reborn that monster back in the field, and it will be activatable like the Doyen. So we're going to be doing the Wind Pegasus play, trigger the Boo-Aroo, reborn the Bakari, Pegasus, pop in the Super Poly before activating it. Goodbye to Super Poly. Transcode Talker, reborn the Splash Mage, and we should very easily just turn this into lethal damage. Heat, Soul, and Transcode Talker. That is not enough for lethal. What is it? We have Idol Reborn, reborning our Wind Pegasus for game. Damn. 2-0 victory. Very nice. Very nice. Let's go. Let's go. Are you ready? Super Heavy Samurai versus Ignister. Begin. We are small world, and when are we gonna be whipping out that shifter? When we shifting? Shifter in the resolution before the Dark Infant gets linked off with the Achichi. We're still gonna be making that Dark Infant. This is a Jabate Negate if it were to activate and they had another copy of the field spell. So it looks like our Ignister player's only playing one copy of the field spell, which would then make the negate on Dark Infant much better. We are grabbing the Chi-Chi, Shokan into the Wicked, because the other Chi-Chi is banished, so we could special summon it onto the field. And we have no Cyberse monster in the graveyard to banish through the Wicked, so we're simply making a Heat Soul, draw a card, pass. Now, you think you got me with that shifter, but I got you with the Droll and Lockbird that actually you can't activate because it has to be sent to the graveyard. So you got me. All right, you got me. Wakashi, come forth and set up the Benki special summon. Draw a card. Ghost Bell can activate. Yes, it can. Impermanent Ghost Bell are activatable. Droll and Lockbird is not. Negate. The Wakashi discard to summon a Super Heavy from the deck. Benki gets searching, grabbing the booster. Can't Droll. But when do we bell? Can we bell? You have Saratobi, which can attack over the Heat Soul and pop a back row card during either player's turn. First taking out the Idol Reborn burn for 500, and then we'll further pop the field spell. Droll's now activatable off the top of the deck. Circular, of course. We have DD Crow to banish the Sigma on activation. Now, Circular still triggers if they can normal summon any Math Mech from the hand, which they don't have. Droll. Okay, Drolling the Max C. Yup, all right. You can't add, so even if you summon the Sigma, ooh, we're going to bell the DD Crow, but I have another DD Crow. Back-to-back DD Crow, banishing the Sigma. Circular would not be able to activate anyway due to the Droll and Lockbird. Interesting stuff here, and now we're stuck with just a Circular. As the Saratobi can pop the field spell for 500, and the turn gets swinging. An interesting back and forth centered around, Droll and Shifter. Nicely done. Ayari linking off into the Dark Infant. We have no disruption whatsoever. Let's super speed this up. In fact, I'm going to start sitting. Wait, that was not a good turn one. We simply have Impermanence and a Finger. That's it. Unless we draw into a hand trap with a Heat Soul. We're going to wait. We're going to Finger the Motorbike, so it's not going to be summonable through the Excel Stardust to make a Baron to floor. Also, no search. Negate. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, my pants are dry now, so I'm sitting. We are drawing with the Heat Soul, not into a hand trap, just Imperm. Get ready to get Impermanent. And we have to deal with an untargetable 3300 Heat Soul. Discard to Reborn, Imperm, Negate. We did use up our normal summon already. We have not Wakashi special summoned, so we are in big trouble. Wakashi set up the Benki, come forth in special. Benki search our deck for the Piercer, which we can equip onto a monster. First, we want to equip the Peacemaker. We're then going to come forth and summon from the deck our Wagon. Wagon is going to be searching for our Soul Horns, giving us the ability to double attack. Tilting Entrainment will be reborning the Wakashi that's in the extra monster deck to come forth and summon, equip on a Wakashi, then synchro into Masuwaru to search our deck for another super heavy as we now set up the Pendulum Scale to Pendulum Shokan. So we have double attack Masuwaru, but we still need to have more damage for game. With this Pendulum Shokan, we have Scales and Wakashi reborn from the graveyard. Soul Horns get equipping, further synchroing as we then discard the wagon, summon from the deck the bike. Bike change itself to nothing because it's stuck at level 2. As we then make a, what the heck is that? A Commander Shanawo. This card can blah, blah, blah. Okay, what's the effect? During the battle phase, if you control this Synchro Summon card, you could special summon a Super Heavy Samurai monster card from your graveyard or from your Spell and Trap zone, and then put this in the Pendulum Scale. Huh? Okay. Attack number 1. Attack number 2. Oh, first we're doing the effect. Reborn, and then it's optional. We don't have to put ourselves in the Pendulum Scale. 2,500, 1,800. It looks like you lost to a pure Super Heavy Samurai deck. Damn. Pure Super Heavy Sam is top tier. Good job, Vodka. Oh my. How do you have room in your extra deck? What is going on here? What is this? Maxi getting hit by that Gamma, but we have Gamma for the Gamma. We only disrespect Gamma if we have a way to stop the Gamma. Through a Bell, through an Ash, through our own Gamma. So technically, your Gamma disrespected the Gamma, but not really, because it's fine for them to use Gamma. As long as it's not their turn and they're Gammaing, it's okay. We have Ogre. After a monster effect is activated, we are going to be looking at the top 5 cards of your deck, banishing one of them. Flipping up the Preparations. Now, Preparations could summon a Kashtira from the hand or banishment, a good way to get our Fenrir out on the field. Now, I was talking about this ruling, that if you summon the Fenrir on Chainlink 2, and on a lower Chainlink, you activated the monster effect like Snake Eye Ash, the Fenrir will not activate. Ogre will activate, though. See, Ogre was activatable, Fenrir wasn't. And you know, because people were saying earlier, oh, it's because it activates at the resolution of the monster effect. That is when Fenrir would activate, but it was not on the field to see the activation. And that's why the birth ruling is kind of BS, but it is how they ruled it. We are looking at the top 5. Can we banish something good? At least one of the Flame Burges will be gone from the game forever. Now banish face down. We have the original Sinful into our Link Kuribo. Let's speed this up. Poplar, get equipment into the back row. We're ready with that Fenrir whenever to banish a card in the field. Making the Oak Reborn from the grave. We have Divine Temple, setting up the Flame Burge. Send the Flame Burge to summon for the deck, and Ash, trigger the Flame Burge to reborn 2 fires from the grave. Getting rid of the Jet Synchron, or at least trying to do so as the Link Kuribo tributes it, dodging the Fenrir from being banished face down. All right. We now have IP, Masquerina, further linking this up into Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess, reborn our Flamebirds, which is now safe from the Fenrir. Get pushing the limited to 1 Fenrir into the back row, which we now don't have a way to reborn it through the birth nor the preparations. How do we get access to our Fenrir again? Now, maybe the opposing Flamebirds during the next turn, if there is another turn, it will be able to steal the Fenrir from the back row, thus putting it back into circulation. But it looks like we are going for game, as we are reborning the Ogre plus every other card in the field through the effect of Zealantis to trigger the Promethean Princess to reborn from the graveyard at 8,200 damage. Attack for game. Zealantis OTK taking game 1 of the top 4. All right. Pada E, randomly banished from the extra deck. Hopefully your Goliath, which then makes your Rise Heart indestructible. That'd be great. Randomly banished, mate. We almost lost all 3 of our Rise Heart, and we did not banish a Goliath. Okay. 2 of 3 Rise Hearts now gone. Our 1 of Zeus is gone for good. Not sure how many Big Eyes we played. That's probably gone for good. No, we have multiple Big Eyes. Okay, sure, fine. Rise Heart, banish 3 cards off the opponent's deck face down. Goodbye to their Ash and Poplar, but they are at least likely most people are playing 2 Poplar. Droll and Lockbird. This is very important for you to understand that if you have a Bonfire in your hand, you don't start the turn with Bonfire. You Bonfire for the start of your turn, you get Drolled, you're gonna lose. So you do want to Ash first. Very well done. Now, the Poplar is not going to search, but that's okay. Could still put up a decent field here. As the Poplar equips the regular hand trap Ash into the back row as we send it to the grave to summon from the deck Oak through the effect of the Snake Eyes Ash. Reborning the Ash as we then send Link Karibo and the Oak to summon from the deck Flameburge Dragon. Flameburge and Ash are then going to be making a Masquerena. Ghost Bell, since you have no way to chain link block the Flameburge, which you could have through the effect of Poplar. If Poplar had not activated yet, you would put it on chain link 2 to block the Bell. Damn. We have a Masquerena with nothing to link with it. There's nothing we could do. It's dead. Pot of P. Do we have enough cards left in our extra deck? We still banished 6. We have 3 cards. We left a Baron, Shang-Ri, and a Rise Heart in our extra deck. Only 3 cards left. Grab the Ash, normal summon the Bell into a Baron to floor. Rise Heart should never be able to make a Baron to floor because even summoning it locks you out of being able to make non-Exceases. So you special summon this, you're locked out of anything but Exceasing, but because it was summoned during the last turn and the opponent did not have a way to deal with it, it's now a Baron to floor. Activate, pop the Imperm, not even bothering to Imperm the Baron to floor. We're just going to save time, not even activate. Goodbye to that Masquerena, which could be recycled with the Flameburge effect. Now we're forced into Bonfiring. Bonfire searching for our Ash. It was normal summoned. Well, generally, the point is you can't normal summon an Ash, then special summon Rise Heart because you're locked into Excease. That's the point. We are then come forth from the graveyard, Link Karibo. We are now making Hida. Hida attempt to special summon from the opponent's graveyard, stealing that Rise Heart, Shokunning into Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess activating to Reborn, and that is when Baron to floor is going to negate. Bonfire's a hard once per turn. We cannot activate another one. Now back to you. They don't have a fire on the field, so they cannot summon the Promethean from the grave. Baron to floor for 3k. Do we have a good small world bridge with the Ash, or we just leave the Ash? There's nothing we could really do here. Discard Bonfire, summoning Diablo Star. Ash is not usable yet. Setting up into the back row Subversion to use onto the Baron to floor, which is not even activatable to negate. And we don't have another Poplar because it was randomly banished face down to the effect of Rise Heart. Oh my gosh. Maybe we should play 3. Show the Kashtira grave. We didn't have anything worthwhile to Reborn from the grave through. I mean, here's the thing. We could have returned Baron. No, we can't return Baron to floor to summon the Rise. Wait, can we? Yeah, we could, right? Banish a Kashtira, then become level 7, and then we normal summon Ash, remake Baron to floor. Was that the better play? Shouldn't we have done that? Reborn Rise, normal Ash, then banish, and we're not locked into Excease only? Maybe that was our play. Why didn't we negate Diablo Star? We negated Promethean Princess instead. We are Small World Bridge in the Drone Lockbird, grabbing a Kashtira Unicorn to our hand, now summonable because the Baron to floor is in the back row here. As we add a birth, ready to birth a card from the grave or banish. Reborning our Fenrir. We have not normal summoned yet, so we could search for a monster that we could special summon through a Rise Heart, a regular Rise Heart that is. Banish 3 cards off of the opponent's deck. Scooping it up. What the heck was that duel? A big duel of nothing. What? Let's go to game 3. Bonfire. We are not going to be ashing that. I believe we're waiting for the effect of the regular Snake Eye Ash of adding a Poplar. Negate. Now we do have follow-up 1-for-1. Discard any monster from the hand to come forth and summon for the deck a level 1. Discard Poplar to summon Poplar. We still have access to our Poplar. Your Ash was nothing. And this is why I thought 1-for-1 would maybe get banned, because it was pretty much the only way to hit the deck. I don't know. Ash, send the Poplar itself, summon the Oak, reborn from the grave the Ash, come forth and link up into Linkuriboh. We are now original sinning, summon from the deck, Jet, Synchron, send itself, Oak, and Ash to summon a Flame Burst from the deck. Now we are further linking this up into Masquerena. Flame Burst, activate, reborn from the graveyard Shokan into Formula Synchron. Formula Synchron on summon, drawing into a Gamma. As we have Jet Synchron discard to then reborn to then make a Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess activating to reborn our Flame Burst. Flame Burst pushing the Masquerena into our back row. Let's speed this up. Sprite Elfin. Elf reborn the Formula Synchron. We now have the Baron de Fleur into the Apollo USA play. Maxi in the draw phase. We do have Ash Blossom to negate, and you do not have a Baron de Fleur ready to negate. Flame Burge activating to summon that Masquerena into the untargetable zone that Elf is pointing to. What is good here? We have our first play being the Planet Field spell for Kashtira, searching for a Kashtira monster. The Formula Synchron and Masquerena are stuck to only being activated in the main phase. Now, we got our Baron de Fleur. Fenrir to the hand, Flame Burst triggering, reborn from the grave, 2 level 1 fires, Oak reborn, another monster onto the field here. We're going to Linkuriboh, activate Masquerena, chain the Elf. Let's get to it. Just feels so cheap to do this. Wait, the Formula Synchron is not a hard once per turn. Do you have another Synchro? Why did you not use this? Wait, you don't have a way to do this. You don't have a level 6. There's no way. Okay. Fenrir is here. Promethean Princess popping the Elf and the Fenrir come forth in Shokan. Herald Arclight would be another option. Baron de Fleur negating the activation of the Birth. Now, this could be questionable. If you negate the activation from the hand, that's a good idea if the card were limited to 1, but it's not. In today's tournament, every Kashtira player is able to play 2. So you want to negate the hard once per turn effect of reborning from the grave or banish, and that's going to stop them from the additional copy of being activatable. Banish the Ogre. Apollo USA is going to negate the effect of Rise Heart becoming a level 7. I think Kashtira loses. I think Kashtira was built to beat and play against Snake Eye, and still, Duber coming out on top. This is the way. Bonfire Snake Eyes advancing to the grand finale. This is it. Lethal damage. Vodka for free is in the grand finale against what I think many people believed, and even myself, there was a high chance that Snake Eyes would have been tier 0 with the addition of Bonfire. But is that the case? I think that maybe the top 16 is 60% of Snake Eye and more, even though the performance within top 16 was not very good. We'll find out at the end because I don't know myself yet. And are you ready? Hajime. We got Wagon getting negated by effect. Baylor. All right. Negate. We're going to further link this off into the Scarecrow, and because we have Scales in the hand, we could discard Scales, reborn Scales, Scales, then reborn the Wagon. We're going to imperm negate. Now, this is why we potentially would have wanted to wait with the Veiler, because the Wagon states that you can, if you have no blah, 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 you could change this battle position from face-up defense into attack to add. And you can only use this effect once per turn. So if you save the Veiler for the hard once per turn effect of attempting a search, that is the better play, because now we're in a situation where they could reborn the Wagon and then activate the hard once per turn that you did not negate. It's kind of like negating the wrong effect of Isolt, negating the first effect of Isolt and not the second. But it's okay because we had a negate onto the Scarecrow to stop that from happening. We are now making Regulus, then ending. Regulus will be an Omni negate on top of our Ash and DD Crow, so we have triple disruption. Now, the problem with Therion negating anything is it is susceptible to a finger, and we do have that finger to negate. Divine Temple setting up into the back row. Poplar, we're going to send the Poplar, summon Diablo Star, activate Diablo Star, chaining the Poplar to equip from the graveyard into the back row. Now, Diablo Star setting up with the Original Sinful. Original Sinful, send the Poplar, which is going to be negated by Ash. Now, we're in a situation where if we try to finger the Ash, Therion negates, or if we wait for the Therion negate, we then finger the Therion. Who do we want to finger? And if we finger the Ash, then our own Ash is also getting fingered. So do we want to finger ourselves? Probably not. Negate. Come forth and summon Ash, going straight into that Diablo Star plus Ash into a Baron to floor. Wiping out the Therion without activating, as we can now safely in the main phase 2 take out that Scarecrow. And we never even had to use our finger. We saved it. Perfect, but are you kidding me? Wakashi off the top of the deck. Negate the activation of the Wakashi. Hell no. Get out of here. Now, it's interesting, a card that is a Pendulum card that was on the field, you saw it on the field, just went to the grave. How's that possible? Because your eyes are lying to you. It was never actually on the field. It actually was sent to the grave from not being on the field, and that's why it's in the grave. All right? Because the activation was negated. Baron to floor, returning itself back into the extra deck to summon the Diablo Star from the grave, activating to set up a Wanted Seeker to be usable during the next turn. We're going to DD Crow onto the Poplar, okay? We're going to use Called By to finger the Crow, negate. Trying to stop the Original Sinful activation here to return the Poplar back in the deck to then search for an Ash, thus giving us game. Original Sinful, return back the Poplar, add the Ash, and from here, it is game over. Add the Poplar, please make this quick. We've got 6,200, adding a Subversion, further linking this up. Activate Poplar, equip into the back row, send for the Ash, summon an Oak, Oak Reborn, 6,700 damage, send a Link Karibo, making the Flame Burst. We were at 7,400, now to 58. Let's keep on doing it, mate. We got Dark to summon a Dark Monster from the opponent's grave, which there is one. The Wakashi is Dark. And just like that, 9250 damage on the fields. Lethal. Very nice. Very nice. We have Gamma, which could get Belled or Ash, but then Gamma's activatable again within the same turn, just not within the same chain. Okay, that ended our turn. You got us. But we have Veiler, Ash, and Bell. Can you play through all three? Probably not. Veil, negate the Poplar. Okay. We have two more Disruption. Poplar activates, equip into the back row, send the Poplar, come forth, and summon. Ash is going to negate. All right. You can only play only one Arius and Lab. You could play just one Arius and be good. That could be good. With Arius, you could play 0, 1, you could play 2, you could play 3. Any amount works. We have Scarecrow ready to discard a card reborn from the graveyard. We have Veiler negate. Okay. Check PayPal. What happened here? Shokan, discard, reborn. Okay. We have Original Sinful, returning the Poplar back in the deck, adding an Ash. Veiler, negate. We do not have Link Karibo to dodge the Veil. What is this brick session here? Back-to-back brick, hand trap, disrupt. Goodbye to the Scarecrow at least. Okay, nice to see it. Off the top of the deck, we have a Regulus, which can attach the Scarecrow, come forth and summoning at 2,800 attack, is able to negate anything. Wipe out the Ash. All right, let's go. Let's go. End the turn. Okay. Okay, what? Huh? We have no monster to discard, so there's nothing we could do. We don't have a Wanted. We don't have an original Sinful to return back to the deck to search. We got nothing. Scales, if we imperm negate, the Regulus will negate the negates. That's it. Negate. Do we now have full combo? Scale, grab wagon. That's full combo. Let's go. Vodka, show us the quickest lethal you could ever show us. Grab the Piercer, Shokan into gear, Gig, and X. We already used up our normal summon. Adding the Wakashi. Wakashi, come forth and summon. Set up with the Benki, grabbing the Peacemaker. Discard the Peacemaker, summon from the deck to then make a Masuwaru at 4,000 defense. And that was enough for lethal damage. I'm like, wait, that's not AK. Game. Begin. Poplar on summon, activate. Veiler, negate. We do have the follow-up with original Sinful, which we have Ash to also negate that. The Diablo Star we may want to follow up with first to try to bait out some sort of disruption before we commit to that original Sinful. Poplar get equipping. Sent to the grave. Diablo Star is here. Activate Diablo Star. No disruption as we saw there. So we're now going to whip out that original Sinful, which we are not going to use Ash on. We're going to max C instead. Nice. So the reason for this could be if we want to play around a Call by the Grave. If we are afraid that Ash would get called by, maybe we want to just hold on to our better disruption here. And, you know, this pretty much ends their turn also. Maxi was great, also Ash. Having Ash for our own turn to negate Maxi is like, just think about what happened here. Instead of Ashing, we Maxi'd. Maxi ended the turn as Ash would have also. But if you on the next turn have Maxi or Ash, what would you rather have? The card that negates the opponent's Maxi. Thus, we now don't have to play around the Maxi. That's it. So when are we revealing? When's the big reveal? Now. Ha! Gotcha. Nope. Held onto the Ash. And Duber could be thinking, well, damn, this dude got lucky. He must have top decked the Ash, right? No. Held it. Held it for the opposing Maxi. That's good discipline. Come forth and link this up into the Scarecrow, triggering the Piercer to search our deck for a super heavy motorbike. We are now going to be discarding, probably playing into an impermanence. No, we're going to hold on to that imperm. Scales is going to be reborn, and as we then negate, we're going to be using the Wanted Seeker to search in addition to this negate. Why not negate the Scarecrow? We discard Scale to summon Scale. Why not negate the Scarecrow, yeah? Is this GG? Probably. Equip with the Peacemaker. It just like that. Summon from the deck, a Piercer. Motorbike, searching for the Wakashi. Doesn't matter anyways, that is true. Does not matter. We have Stardust Excel, Synchro, activate, reborn from the grave. Piercer, get searching. Wakashi, get equipping into the back row. Link Karibo, get tributing with the Ash on the field. All right. This is over, isn't it? I feel like this is over. I don't think we have anything left in us. I can't believe the big tournament where Bonfire has been added into the game, which was supposed to make Snake Eyes tier 0. Yet Snake Eyes is going to lose to Super Freaking Heavy Samurai, which just got hit by the ban list. Wagon went from 3 to 2. Newly hit from the ban list, and it's now going to beat Snake Eyes with Bonfire. What the hell happened here? Equipping onto the Masuwaru, it now has double attack. We're gonna Ghost Bell, negate the Diablo Star from reborning from the grave. Oh my gosh. To battle, we go Link Karibo, reduce you to 0 attack, still taking 4K. Double 4K for game. 2-1 victory. Oh boy. Now, on to the deck list. All right, new meta weekly with the Bonfire release. A ton of people within this tournament, and that is 50% representation within the top 16, but I'm conflicted. While I want to call the deck tier 0, it didn't have that great of a showing within the top 16 itself. A lot of them fell as soon as they got to the top 16. I think only one maybe got to the top 4. We'll look again. But Bonfire definitely had an impact to the point where the idea was to either play Snake Eye or build a deck that does well against Snake Eye. And apparently Labyrinth is not within that area of being good against Snake Eye potentially. That's what I'm thinking. Now, let's check out what the meta looks like very quickly. Let's go. Duelist Wave. This is with the new update, playing 1 Birth, 2 Unicorn. Makes sense. Okay, nothing too special. We then have Bash. Bash is not playing any of the Kashtira engine. Of course, they're all going to be playing triple Bonfire. We have Zolika with Where Art Thou? You didn't get Bonfire. You forgot to get Bonfire. You had 3 days to get Bonfire and you didn't get Bonfire. Zolika, what the hell was that? What? Oh my gosh. Snitrox. Snitrox, well, he played around Droll and Lockbird better by not having the Bonfire. Nice. Snitrox, the triple Bonfire. It is ultra rare. A lot of people maybe don't want to invest in that. You know, he already had the deck built. That's fine. And looking standard Snake Eyes. We have Sniffus with triple Bonfire, no Kashtira, standard Snake Eyes. We then have Vladsiny with the Thrust. Thrusting into some Sky Striker cards. Okay, we have Engage, we got Thrust, we got the drones, and we got some Sky Strikers in the extra deck. I like it. Good job, Vladsiny. Very interesting. And then we have Slifer Slacker with Tearlament with the Revolution Synchron. I do want to play something like this myself. This looks like a lot of fun. We then have Archer with more standard Snake Eyes. And then we have Shankers with Dinosaur. Yep, looking good. Dinos are here. And then we have Dark. Dark is here with, yeah, this is the Crimson. This is the tilting entrainment into the Archfiend Calamity. Very nicely done. We got Anti-Link with the Phantasme. Very nice. And then we have Whis with some more tier. Looking at the extra deck here. Okay, good job, Whis. And then we have Abo Mod. I don't think, do we even need branded on the tier list? Maybe just Abo Mod, the player themselves should be on the tier list. Good job, well done. Topped the Duelist Cup. And then we have Big Cheese with Ignister. Ignistering it up. And then we have Eon Flute. Eon Flute with pure Kashtira, built to beat Snake Eye, and that's what it did, but it also unfortunately lost to Snake Eye. And then Duber, the best performing Snake Eye deck in the tournament, playing Sprite Elf, triple Bonfire, no Kashtira after the nerf. And then the best deck, Vodka for free. Vodka for free with the Crimson Archfiend King Calamity Abuse. Very well done. Good job, Vodka. And there you go. That's the tournament. We are out.